Meeting called to order. This is the town council meeting, August 13th, 2024. It is 12 p.m. Invocation and Pledge of Allegiance. Kevin, can you do this?
That would be,
We have Scott.
so all rise, please, and we'll do our invocation first. Let's bow our heads. Dear Lord, we are grateful for your kindness, your goodness, and your mercy towards us, Lord, especially in these turbulent times. We need your grace and your goodness more than ever. And so we thank you that we live in such a beautiful and peaceful place, Lord. And so we ask that you would bless this meeting, that it would benefit the citizens and the residents of Lake Santeetlah, and those that come would recognize that we activate and try to treat all people fairly and in the way that we would want to be treated. We ask your blessing on the meeting today. In Jesus' name we pray. And then put your right hand over your heart, face the flag, and ready to begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'd like to add my name, please.
Okay.
I'd like to ask Kim to give us an update on the sheriff's Crime Stopper box, front entrance.
Yeah, I think we're probably gonna end up having to get a new box, because I have no idea what happened to the keys for that, or if we can replace the lock somehow. Because I don't have a key,
I may have one.
okay? Because I do not have one.
Did you
Yeah.
talk to the officer about it? Or do they look in there? Do
I'm
they
sure
have a
he,
key?
no, I'm sure he doesn't. No. I'll make myself a note to tell him once we figure out about the box, if we need to get a new one, if you've got one, Jim, and we might be able to make some copies of it or something, then I could give it to John.
Yeah, I'll check in a few minutes, see what I can come up with.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as it is.
I second it.
All those in favor? Aye. Approval of the July 9th, 2024 council meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Presentation of financial tax report for Kim.
So we collected $15,046.59 in taxes for last month. And not anything really going on so far yet with the, not made any big purchases or anything like that. We are on the schedule for paving for September, but Scott feels like maybe they might come in August. So hopefully we'll get started with paving.
Yeah, we
Pretty
need a
soon.
heads up on that.
Yeah, well, he wants to start before the leaves start coming down. But yeah, he will, I'm sure, let Scott know before he comes to start.
Okay. You think, well, yeah, the hangers would have to relocate for a couple days.
Oh, they love relocating.
Yeah, I'm sure that he'll let us know before he moves in. And that was Craig Justice, and he said he was 7 minutes out. So he should be here soon.
All right. Ethics statement reminder. Anybody who might have a conflict of interest on any item on our agenda, please speak up. Refrain from any participation with the matter involved. Request for public comment. Do we have any comments? Okay.
Got two issues to bring up there, public comment. Number one was going into closed session. November 2023, the agenda wouldn't be approved because there wasn't a topic identified as what they were going in to get advice about. So I would question what's changed between now and then. Seems a little
There was a topic,
on this. Nothing listed on this.
no, November,
So there was no topic listed on the agenda.
no.
That's
Yeah.
why y'all wouldn't approve the agenda. And then that one was about a wall being built on town property, which still sits on town property. And the other one, shoot, can I remember? That was good enough. All right, thank you.
Does anyone online want to make a comment? No? Okay.
All right, old business, update on the Broyle septic proposal.
Wait till Craig gets here.
Okay.
Yeah, let's flip it.
Yeah, update on Kevin Brown's broadband challenge. Talking to Kevin, he still requires 2 reports from the town of Lake Santeetlah. And I understand that Jack, you had,
Yeah,
you
I
do
did.
have Zito and you can catch up with him so he can finish.
Okay.
Is there anybody else? That's one.
I got 2
He's
places.
got 2
Oh, okay.
properties
Okay, great.
If you need another one, I have another one.
for here.
Yeah,
There's
for St.
one.
Louis Shores.
I believe it's the more the better, isn't it?
He
You
only
needed
needed
40.
10
Yeah.
from us. And he's got 3 other areas that he's getting 10 from.
Okay.
So, I think he's pretty close. New business, the front entrance bricks. So Ralph,
What about the?
we're gonna wait until Craig Justice gets here.
Oh,
He's
okay.
7 minutes out.
He's coming.
Oh,
Pick
okay.
that brick up over there, and let's see what that looks like, Ralph. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, we need some more of those.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
I'd like to bring the whole thing over. I don't think that'll happen this go around.
Don't drop that on your foot.
Okay, well, there is an application that I gave to you that,
Needs a little updating.
yes, it needs a little updating. So the cost of the bricks, the 4x8s are $300 engraved, and the 8x8s are $500. And if you want to have any kind of special,
The engraving was $25 for the art.
yeah, for extra art on it, that would be an extra $25. This is going to donations towards fixing the guardhouse, which has got a lot of problems right now. The floor, subfloor, the door has to be replaced, molding around all the windows is rotted, and the roof needs replacing.
Have we received any cost estimates or proposals?
Shane Holloway was supposed to be preparing a proposal for that. But I don't know if he's passed that on to Scott. No?
I don't think so.
anything.
Is this a place for comments regarding the?
Yeah, we can comment about that.
I know it's a beloved historical structure that's been in Santeetlah for many, many years. I know when we were remodeling the front entryway, there was some question about whether it should remain or not, and of course, because it was a historical and fond memory for many people that lived here for years, they didn't want it, torn down or destroyed. I was just wondering if it was relocated perhaps over to that little center section in Manure Park, and that it could become more functional. It could be used as a place to, distribute hot dogs or drinks or, some kind of thing like that. And whether while we're in this mode and perhaps remodeling or building it, could it be moved and could we explore that? And just a thought. I haven't even.
Well, we have a gazebo there. That's
Yeah,
not
but I was
used.
thinking more in the middle of that roadway.
I don't,
Oh,
doesn't that
okay.
belong to the town?
No.
That's
I
a,
think the gazebo could stay.
septic drain field.
Yeah, but I mean, the structure could sit on top of that.
It's not town property.
Oh, it's not? Who is it?
The, people who own the yellow house there.
They own the entire section of the.
Yeah, Ernie Manier owned all of that. He donated the park property,
Okay.
so,
So that's the Mitchell's property now. Everywhere where the septic is,
as far as I know, it's their septic too.
Maybe we could research that. Anyway, I don't know if anybody wants to explore that, but I don't know whether that's even a viable thing. It can't be that big a deal just to move it over there and put a new foundation on it or something. But it would show it off, I think, better. It just, and where it's located is sort of an obstruction when people are driving in and out. You know, when you're coming out the gate, you have to kind of look around that thing to see if there's cars coming and all that kind of stuff. So, those of you online that would like to explore that with me, send me an email. All right, so that's all I have on that.
Is that little park
oh, here it comes.
private property, or is it belong to the town where the flagpole is?
That's our part, right?
We could look at the map to make sure, but I always thought it was.
I'm not sure if he transferred ownership or if he just wrote an agreement as long as it was kept as a park and maintained.
That'd be interesting to
Betty, do
research
you
that.
happen to know?
The Mayor Park was donated on the grounds that it would remain a park. It had belonged to Ernie Manier. And the center part is common ground for the chalets to have their drain fields.
So it is sort of a common area. Yeah, I don't know whether that would
But you can't build on top of a
be
drain.
conflict or not, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, that was a.
You can't put a structure on top of a drain field, Kevin.
It's terrible.
You like our
It's
new road?
stopped.
Now you know where
Do you like our new road?
No.
I don't either. Nobody likes
20 minutes.
Just add an extra hour to your trip, you know.
It
How many times do you get stopped?
3.
Yep.
Yeah. That's all fun and games on. But now you're in beautiful Santeetlah, where you can just take a breath.
Yeah, that's right. I'll take a breath.
Well, regardless, we will start back up with the front entrance bricks donations, and we'll do this in conjunction with the TPOA. Ralph will have you help with this.
Sure, I'll take.
Bill Hill has more information on contacts for the folks that have done the bricks.
I saw it there, you have a website.
They have a website on it? Ah, okay.
Yeah, I wrote it down.
All right, well, we welcome Craig Justice.
Welcome, Mayor.
In that we haven't seen you in a long
I
time.
know.
So,
My kid's almost one's out of college now. One's getting old enough. Soon enough he'll be there, but it's been a while. Good seeing everybody. Sorry I'm late again.
okay, well, we will jump back over to old business, our update on the Royal Septic proposal. This home on Lake, Nantahala Terrace. It has an old system that is no longer accessible. They are relocating their septic and drain field. To get to the drain field, it would have to kind of encroach on close to our water lines, which do run down the center of Nantahala Terrace. So it was requested, Jacob Nelms has been working with Mr. Broyles, and it was requested by the council that an engineered plan be submitted to us, and it just showed up yesterday. I think he finished it. He's got it sealed, signed, sealed, delivered. It looks as if he has taken some information for the specs as well as what he's got in this that had been originally used for a project in the town of Murphy. So there is new section that does show the Broyles property. And it is engineering so that it moves from the center of the road, water line, and cuts the road and moves the water supply line, main line, over across the road to a right-of-way area of the town. And then cuts back across the road to the water meter area to supply water to the other houses that are down the road. There's 2 other houses the water's going to from that point. So the engineering plan, pretty involved. And I learned more than I ever knew. Just reading this morning. So it does indicate in the specs, et cetera, areas where they would have to get approval from the town council. This would be approved by the council as to whether we are pursuing this, and have our legal team write up the easement agreement from everybody who's looked at it. I know there's areas where it's saying that they must contact the town at least 3 days in advance of any kind of water cut-off time, and I would hope that they might do this in a time that during the week when we wouldn't have as many people up here on weekends. I know Susie, I don't know if that's your supply line to your house, but people have to be given enough time to prepare if they need to take a trip or something, to be out of the area during that time. And we have to let all the homeowners in that section be aware of this. Any other council members have?
Thoughts or concerns?
Yes, okay.
This is the way you're supposed to do a project.
Yeah.
It's signed and sealed. I only found 2 typo errors in it. And this is the way you do business. It appears to comply with everything that we needed. Anything that has to do with private property, we got nothing to do with, except for the road cuts. So, and this is a classic specification. Technically speaking, it's fine.
Is it an encroachment agreement or?
I'm sorry?
Is it an encroachment agreement or an easement?
It's an encroachment.
It's an
Well,
encroachment.
it's a little bit different than what I've seen. Usually we talked about something going across the road with the septic. Is this septic system, it says approximate size for proposed septic system. I assume that's in the road right of way? Looks so dang close, right? It'd have to be in the road right of way.
The septic,
No,
The septic
the hatched
tank.
line definitely looks like it's
Yeah, I think probably it is.
probably in the road right of way. So you've got an
This
encroachment.
fence is in the road right away.
So you've got an encroachment to that extent. Now, I can't tell to what extent they're in the road right of way from this, but it appears that they are. But the unique thing is they're having to move our water line. We haven't dealt with that before, to my knowledge, because the septic system would be too close to the existing water line for state standards. So that's the weird component of that is that's a town line and they're gonna have to move it and take people out during the construction, and that adds a lot of risk. But it's completely up to y'all. So it's an encroachment, but with a twist.
So is it actually, I need to get a better handle on this thing. For lack of a better way to interpret it, the line runs currently down Santeetlah Trail. It's not dead center in the road, but maybe offset a little bit. And because of the septic being relocated, and I think it's because they need additional septic space, which is their problem, they're relocating this water line. One question one, how many feet must the H2O, the water line, be from the sewer line by law?
10 feet. It's in the spec.
And it's
10
not
feet.
gonna be, and there is points within this where they're gonna have to sleep
Correct, I
Yeah.
understood that. yeah.
because they can't get the distance between, but the specs,
But if it's sleeved, can it be
Sleeve
right
it up
next
the
to it?
line.
yeah.
So it can be darn near right on top of it then?
Yes.
So here's,
So why are they moving it at all?
So that's the question, why is it cutting, as Craig elaborated, it's being cut across the street from the top of the property where the fence is. I walked down there, there's currently two water meters there, across the roadway, down the other side of the street, as I'm understanding it, within the town boundary, I guess, and then back to their original line where it kind of goes towards the other properties, and then they offset the water line to the house from that point. Is that, am I understanding that correctly? So that's my question.
and I kind of wonder where this is, if that is on the other side of the street that's coming down, because it's showing the water meters here.
Yeah, the previous diagram, this one that we received
Yeah.
originally was much better. It has a little bit better, I don't know if it's accurate. You got that, Craig?
No.
No, that's something,
This was something that we originally received
yeah.
to look at, and it shows their driveway and shows the house, but it's not to scale, and it's a little fuzzy to kind of
That's-
figure out what they're doing there.
Yeah, that's why we
That's why
asked
we
you this,
require
but
it.
that's
But this one isn't
optional.
showing it clearly in my mind either, but that's just me, I guess.
Do y'all want to talk to him?
Item E
Okay?
tells you exactly how what the separations are.
Okay.
Oh, that's in the email
It's
too.
a specification.
Yeah, that first, the
Okay.
specifications.
So I wanted to revisit that.
10 feet laterally from proposed sewers.
That's the bullet trick.
10 feet on each side of the crossing, 18-inch integral above the top of the sewer. If it's
Yeah.
over a sewer, it's not.
Okay,
It's under.
it's under, all right.
10 feet on each side, and the separation is, it's in here somewhere. I saw it.
That's the specification, Kevin's right there.
But this other section here that goes to where he's cutting it, to take it across the street, how close, I can't see it on this drawing, how close it is. So I'm assuming this is all in the height.
It doesn't have to be.
So having said that, I looked at the property. I'm not a contractor, but I made some observations. I have been an irrigation landscape contractor, and we do trenching and stuff all the time. My question was, leave the original meters where they're at, go along the fence, I don't know what we call the little access road that is perpendicular to Santeetlah Trail, that runs at the top of their property. Bring the line down there, trench through their driveway and down to the front of their house, so that all of this work is done strictly on their property. It's not, there's no road cut, there's no interference with the town, and then it's completely up to them where they want to run it. I mean, it would be easy to run that line underneath the driveway, it's just gravel. They don't have to move trees, they don't have to move rocks, they can go right down the hill with the water line unless there's some other laws that I'm not aware of that would create a problem. So-
Didn't we ask him to move those water lines closer, or those water meters closer to the house? The houses, because those houses are
That's
down along the
true.
road.
We did request that the water meters be moved
Because
down
they're
to
up.
the two houses,
Yeah,
the Rainey house and
So
Yeah,
the
and
town
that's what
is
he
sort
did
of, is the
in
town
here.
driving this then?
no,
Okay.
no.
I just have a question. So on your diagram, just between Diana and I, but I can put it up on the board. You would run down this side, across here and down over here, instead of going across the street and up here and back in. And if they're doing
Water
it
to
because they're
this
trying to
house?
give better access to the other
Well,
houses, that's another issue, right?
this
We
was
asked
a
him to do
matter
that.
of moving the meters, these 2 meters that go to this house. I'm not sure where the meter is for the Royal
Because
House.
there's 2 meters over here in their front yard, okay?
There's 2 here and then 2 up.
You know, look at that picture.
When we discussed that with him at the last meeting, this is the proposal that we asked him to come back with. This is the way we wanted it moved. We wanted the water line moved to one side of the road. And those water meters for those houses moved closer to
The
the
houses.
houses. This is the proposal we asked him to come back with.
Okay.
Because we've met, what, with 2, we had 2 meetings, and I don't know if Kevin was here.
Yeah, there's no
Look at your gym right here.
Yeah.
It's on the driveway, then you don't have to deal with it.
Well, I think the fences have to come out.
They do? See, I don't think
Anyway.
any of that's necessary. No, they're not. They need to rethink that whole thing.
Well,
Because they
if the water lines, but that's a
But
main water
they
line
don't need
to every house down the street.
That's why I don't want to interfere with it. Just leave it alone. We go take the water meter from there, run it down the driveway, put it, I don't care if they put it on this side of the house or that side, if they need it for the neighbor. You saying these water meters are for?
These 2 water meters up here go down here to the Rainey House
Okay.
and Rosado
I
House.
don't even know that you'd have to move it.
Well,
If-
we
if
had
they sleep-
specified it'd be nicer to have them down by their house instead of way up here.
Are they planning to do that? Are they gonna run it?
Well, I
down?
think we asked,
And what is this name of this roadway?
um,
I don't know, it's Santeetlah
It
or just a
doesn't.
The
driveway?
gravel driveway
Driveway?
well, that's a paved road.
It's paved, but it's more like a driveway.
that goes out behind the Bruce house.
Perpendicular to Santeetlah, yeah.
There's a house over here and then there's 2 houses
Mhm.
down the road.
Jack lives down there, he might have it.
Jack's over here.
Yeah, and I got, as a budding property owner to this, if I'm understanding correctly, the main line is gonna be moved further towards my property. I have an active septic permit on that property,
Yeah,
so that will, moving that line may well affect my permit.
yeah.
This is showing, that's up where that little shop is. And,
See, I haven't seen any of this.
No, it just came yesterday afternoon.
Jack, the meters down here at the house.
this is your property here.
Yeah, so then hill all here,
The problem with
this is where the drain field
we asked them.
permit that I have is, which
Here.
abuts the road right here.
They're not,
It's not under that
we
building.
share buildings, but it's not, they're not located somewhere.
That's an old picture.
Out. You know, going along.
Okay.
And it was moved up to the top to make room for the drain field.
Then what's this?
That's my proposed for crossing the upper road.
But I thought you were having your drain field here. Is this what you're talking about?
I have an
Or
active,
here?
I have an active permit for here
For drain field here?
and here. The state wants me to put it up here. But I have an active permit for this worst case scenario. If this doesn't get approved, I put it here, and I need the space from the Santeetlah Trail, from the main water line.
Jack, if you could provide a copy of your
Here's the
permit,
driveway.
that
The
you
meters
mentioned.
are up here at the top.
Pardon?
If you brought a copy of your permit, Kim,
Here's where there is this.
you have a copy of your permit somewhere.
At the house.
Yeah, if you could just, when you get back, if you send her a copy of it.
Okay, well, the state came out and revamped the layout of the drain field.
Whatever you have, so we can maybe forward it on to this engineer, so we don't run into a conflict.
Okay, like I said, I haven't seen any of this, but if they're moving the main line over, that decreases the existing space that mine was drawn up on.
It was my understanding they were going to encase the water line
In a sleeve.
so it could be next to
The
the.
6-inch line?
Yeah. So they wouldn't be moving it towards your property at all, I don't think.
Oh, they're just gonna encase it, they're not gonna move it?
Why is
I'm under
why
these-
is it called relocate water line?
They do have to move it, but I
Yeah.
was thinking they moved it, they were moving it to the other side.
We should have probably had the gentleman that designed this here today to ask
I
questions.
tell you what, let's just call Jake. I told him that I was gonna, if I needed him, I was gonna call him.
Okay, good. And I've got some photos here that we could print maybe real quick, if I send them to you, so people can see the actual area that we're talking about. Do you want that or not?
She can screen share it. and send it to the
Hey.
email.
You got a minute?
Yeah.
All right. So Kevin, you want to ask him your question?
Hi Jacob, this is Kevin Hagan, one of the council members here. This is a public meeting, so you're on the screen here. The question I had after reviewing the designs, and thank you for engineering all that, I think that's great. What we're trying to do is kind of keep the town out of this whole business and not cut our roadways and have to do all kinds of stuff. And my question specifically was, if the water meters are now currently located at the top of the property, instead of going across the road, as I understand the proposal is, cutting the roadway, relocating the main line. Now, this is their water main line, not the town water line, correct?
It is the town.
It's the town water line.
Okay, so you're gonna relocate the entire town water line to the other side in a sleeve, and I'm assuming that's a PVC sleeve?
Well, it doesn't have to be sleeved on the other side of the road.
Yes, is it PVC pipe sleeve? What is the material for the sleeve? Because I was curious about that.
I don't have my computer right in front of me. Usually it's ductile iron if it calls for a sleeve.
What kind of line?
Ductile iron.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's like it's not metal, it's like a ceramic kind of thing?
No, it's up line, it's an iron pipe.
it's iron.
It is iron.
Yes.
Now, is that customary? I'll divert to that for a minute. Is that normal? Because that rusts is what the reason I'm worried about
The
that.
water line's inside it.
Yeah, I understand that, but the outside can rust.
It's common depending on the situation. Yeah.
Can it be encased in PVC instead, like a PVC sleeve that never rusts?
Not according to the rules.
Okay, so I didn't know what North Carolina law required. Okay, thank you for clarifying that. Secondly, I have an alternative option, which may or may not have, might screw up the works here, but it might solve all our problems. Instead of having to go through all the rigmarole of, diverting the lines for the town, upon looking at the site, I suggested that they come down from the point where the existing water meters are, adjacent to the fence that's at the top of the road, which is technically a driveway. It's not, I don't think, officially Nantahala Trail. So it would be, if you could think of it as perpendicular to Nantahala Trail. Come down along that fence, trench through the driveway and down through their planter area to relocate the water meter in the location that I think you were going to relocate, thereby making it unnecessary to do all this cutting across the roadways and putting in new water lines for the town and for the adjacent properties. Would that be something that could be feasible, I guess? Or am I not understanding why we couldn't drill the driveway?
You can't take it across their property.
Why not? Right here.
No, this is the main line for all the
No,
houses.
I'm not doing
on
the
this
main line. I'm
lot.
not even gonna
That's what
touch
we're
it.
talking about.
I'm not gonna touch the main line. I'm gonna leave the water meter where it is, run his water line down here and put the meter over here.
It's
So
the,
you want to, instead of making a cut across, now which road, are you talking about the paved driveway?
Well, they don't have, I guess you could call it paved at the top of the hill there between the houses, yeah. You would just run it along inside inside their fence. Again, I don't know if the purpose of this is to give Jose and the other property owner a more, direct water line? I don't know why are we fussing with them? Because they don't care right now, right?
The purpose of moving the water meters is because the meters, or the water taps are encroaching on the drain field, the proposed drain field area.
Correct.
So they need to be moved,
Okay.
proposed just on the other side of that driveway. And to reconnect to the water lines that go to the houses, you'll have to cut that road.
Okay, Jake, about this Jim Hager, I have a question. Jack Gross says he has a septic permit on the other side of the road. How close, you said you would relocate the pipes on the other side of the road. That's gonna create a problem for Jack and his septic permit.
It's a drain field,
Where's it at?
the opposite side of the street.
More in front of his property, it's an adjacent house.
This is something we were not aware of.
I thought that was Maxine's property.
No, Maxine's property is down the slope slightly.
It's the lot above Maxine's property,
To hear that, the
Lot-
lot above Maxine's.
lot
property.
15.
Yeah, we shouldn't get anywhere close to Jack's property.
The question is, am I gonna be able to meet the setback of 10 foot to that main water line with my drain field?
Could you hear that?
Yeah. Not really good.
You don't know, is that what you said? I'm sorry.
No, I couldn't hear what he said.
Oh, he said, come up here, Jack, so I can hear what you're saying.
In moving the water line closer to my property, is that gonna affect the required 10-foot setback from my drain field that I have a permit for?
I don't think so, Jack. I think that the proposed location for the water line was all on Maxine's driveway, right away on Maxine's lot.
I don't think that's the way it's drawn up, but it needs to be looked at and figured out. If I was understanding, you're replacing or moving, relocating roughly 75 feet of 6-inch water line?
Yeah.
I don't think it ended up being quite that much, no.
Okay, well, it's something that needs to be looked at and verified. I hate to
Do
throw
you know where the property corner is?
between Maxine's and mine?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay. We'll just run down there and look at it, and we'll be able to tell just in a second.
okay.
Could we set up an appointment? I would like to be in on that.
Specification says 10-foot laterally unless local conditions or barriers prevent 10 feet. Then you do something else. It's right there.
And that's to put it within the other pipe.
If it's less than 10 feet, you do other things. Right, Jacob?
If it's less than 10 feet, then that's where that sleeve kicks in.
That's exactly right. It's right there in the spec, isn't it?
The last time we spoke, the board preferred not to have to sleeve. So that's when we said, we'll just go on the other side of the road.
Okay, but if you go on the other side of the road and you can't meet the 10-foot lateral, then you have to sleeve it, right?
Correct, but I don't think that's gonna be an issue.
Yeah, okay. There's your answer. There's your answer, Jack.
He's gonna sleeve?
It can be sleeved if it's a conflict.
Okay.
I don't think that's gonna be an issue. If it is an issue, we'll just address that issue.
Yeah.
Jack knows where the corners at.
I agree. I agree.
Jack, is your property surveyed, or is this just a,
Yeah, that's
So
actual
there's
copies,
pins and
copies
we can
of
figure out
surveys.
where it
I have
is.
copies of all those surveys. And the property line for that piece of property is in the middle of the road.
Does anybody have any other questions for Jacob?
Yeah, so Jacob needs to make sure that it complies with the specification. It's either 10-foot separation, so he has to know where that line is, or if not, it has to be in ductile line.
Yeah, we'll make sure all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's easy to figure out.
Jacob, where the septic is coming from the new septic, and then it's running up along the road in your earlier drawing from the precision soil science, that's kind of running up along the fence. Is that still encroaching on the water?
We're gonna relocate that pump line and keep it solely on Q.
Okay.
Don't have that issue. The only issue is that's the reason to move, that's the reason we need to move that upper section of line.
Okay,
Just because that's where the pump line's gonna come in and encroach at the top of the drain field, encroach just on that upper section. Other than that upper section, there shouldn't be anywhere near a problem.
Oh, okay, well, it looks as if that you need to come out here and let's double check. You know, we did not have any kind of plan from Jack until yesterday.
And we just received this other one
And we
yesterday.
just received this one,
The updated
the
one.
engineered plan.
Yeah.
So let's double check.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. When does Jack, ask Jack when he might have time to run out.
here?
Anytime
Okay.
within the next few days.
Okay, and I think that then we can call a special meeting to then approve this.
Okay?
Yeah.
We think we still need to think on this.
I just want to make sure, and, you know, Craig can comment on that we're not approving or disapproving anything that does not impact city property, town property. Now, anything that's on private property is none of our business.
Yeah.
Well, this looks as if it is running, the new water line would be running on our,
Easement.
That's all we care about.
So,
Well,
cutting-
I think we do, if Jack has an existing permit, then that has to be factored.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
And also, one other thing needs to be clarified. The town road right-of-way is not town property. My properties all go to the center of the road. The town has a right-of-way. It does not own the property that the road is on.
Well, I think it's semantics. The town owns a right of way. Now,
Exactly.
you may own the dirt, but the town owns the right of way.
Yep.
Are you claiming there's a question whether utilities can be in that?
No, I'm just saying I don't think it's proper to call it town-owned property.
Well, we own the road.
I pay taxes on it.
I understand. You don't own the road, we own the road. It's a semantic thing.
Maybe we share it.
It's a town-owned road. So, it's a town-owned road right away. It's just like the state owning a road right away, and you may own the dirt underneath what the state owns, but there's not much use to it, because the state owns that right away. Anyway, I understand your point, Jack.
Anybody have any more questions for Jacob? No? All right, Jacob, thank you.
Thanks.
I'll let you know when they
So just, may I make one?
have to schedule a meeting. I'm sorry,
I was
something
just
for
gonna-
Jacob?
I'm done with that, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I was gonna make a comment. I think it's important for the council, and I think Craig's making this point, it's important that we're not dictating to homeowners what they can do on it or not and do on their property. And I understand it's a huge thing in South Carolina, or North Carolina, and I agree with that. Having said that, what is also important for the council to consider is that when we start approving variations in where water lines go and whatever, we're setting precedent. And what's good for the goose is sometimes good for the gander, and other property owners are gonna come in and go, well, you approved it for them, why can't I move my water line, and da-da-da-da-da. We're opening up a can of worms. My suggestion, and it's only a suggestion, I have no facts to guarantee this, is that we might be able to accomplish what the homeowner is looking to achieve by simply putting this change on their property and not touching anything to do with the current town water system. So that's what I would like to just address with Jacob or somebody that's a professional to go, perhaps, and it might even save the homeowner a lot of money, because then it's just trench down here, put the meter over here, down the hill, and we're done. And it's all on their property.
But Ken, aren't you talking about, there's three things going on here. There's a septic field that they need to install,
Right.
or desire to install.
That's the number one.
As a result of that,
Yeah.
there's a conflict with the town-owned water line and how close it would be to that.
Yeah.
What you're talking about, I think, is the private line, are you not? You're not talking about the town line. The town line goes
Well,
in the road right now.
The septic field is the homeowner's responsibility, it's on his property. The water line is technically the homeowner's
No,
issue, other than the fact that it is in violation because it's too close to the proposed septic field, correct?
that's the town
yes, and his
water
only
line.
alternative was, I was asking that you could sleeve maybe that whole line.
That's my point. Yeah.
But the problem with that is, I think he's wanting, what I'm hearing, is not to tear up the road, because you'd have to tear up that entire road to get that sleeve in, versus sort of abandoning that section and going over to the edge and working with a new line that wouldn't tear up the road. That's what I'm seeing as the trade-off here.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that all that is unnecessary, is what I'm proposing. We say you could move the meter over and just keep the water lines and everything else over there. It'd be a lot less expensive.
Well, the meters are moving
Yeah, I don't think the
anyway.
meter's the
That's not
issue.
the issue.
Yeah, but I'm saying that we don't have to
On
go
the
across the
distance?
road. We don't have to go across the road.
Yeah, I thought it was the distance between here, so that could be, that would still have to be encased if we moved it to the right of way because of jacks.
And also,
If that's the.
there is a
If that's
meter,
the case.
there's also a
We need
meter
clarification.
cam on that property near the edge of the road on lot 15. There is a meter cam there.
You have a meter on your side of the road?
I had them pull the meter because, like, again, I moved that little building, but I have a meter can that was paid for when the system was put in.
So there's a meter on the other side of the road
Yes,
as
ma'am.
well.
Well, to Kevin's point, if, you know, I'm not a water system guy, but
None of us are
if you,
experts, but,
if you come in a section and then do a loop where you basically, you know, the line goes down the middle and then out and then back in, if everybody was going to do that, or a lot of people was doing that, does that affect the operation of the system at all? If you have these weird jut outs, that it just happens all the time?
It shouldn't.
No, actually, you'd have to put thrust blocks in at
Yeah.
every turn.
Well, yeah, I thought it would, I thought it would
Yeah.
affect the operation.
For a
but I was
6-inch
asking
line,
because I
yeah.
wasn't sure.
That wasn't done when they originally put the system in.
I'm sure they just omitted that.
Yeah, but he mentions in here the.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's
I'm
different
But I'm just,
options.
I do
for us.
think that, you know, we've had these encroachment agreements that are simple, more simple than this, that involve water line relocation, but you do need to think of it as a standpoint of what would be the policy if on down the road, other people are desiring this kind of outcome. But I don't, you know, obviously if you cut up the whole road to put a sleeve in, I don't know how much time the road would be out of commission, but,
There's another way to reach the properties.
Yeah.
so I don't, you know, I assume that's a lot more expensive to them, is the concern, but, again, this is not the town's fault.
One of the things to consider, though, this is gonna be done more and more because tanks are gonna go bad, and the only options people are gonna have is to buy property across the street from them. And there is precedence already with, I believe, three residences out here where they pump from their house up
Yeah.
onto an upper lot.
Yeah, it's happening more and more as we build.
So
out.
if we wanna encourage building and more tax income and this, that, and the other thing, all of this has to be taken into consideration.
Jack, would you provide us a copy of your septic permit so
Yeah.
we can show it to
Jacob.
Jacob when he comes out?
Actually, I believe your assistant town attorney has copies of my permits that I supplied to my attorney with that other drawing.
Assistant town
Did-
attorney, that's.
Did Brian?
Brian Golden.
Okay, I'll let him know, he's got a label.
He's the guy that always used to fill in for you.
It'd be quicker though if you would just
Brian
let us
sent
make a copy
this.
of
And
it.
he asked you if you had come in and asked for,
Permit.
yeah,
I'm about
encroachment or
I'm about
anything.
10 grand into an attorney.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't be doing anything. That's what I'm paying him
About
for.
this issue,
But he, yeah, that we, this is the first that they've seen that. I don't even, they probably didn't even know.
Didn't see this until,
No.
I didn't see it till yesterday.
Let me see it. Is this Jack's?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a shrunk up copy.
When did you submit that, Jack?
2.5 months ago.
Okay.
Brian's had it for 2.5 months.
I have no idea, this is news to me.
Yeah.
no, I don't know. I just got that. He sent that to me, I believe yesterday.
Did you email it in? or-
He asked me if
My-
Jack had come in and
My
asked.
attorney's been
I said
going
no.
attorney to attorney with Brian.
All right.
And which attorney is that?
Allen and Stahl. Ask Law.
For our legal blonde line. All right, so there it is, yeah, okay.
And like I said, that is a shrunk, very largely shrunk copy. I supplied a much, much bigger copy
Okay,
and identified where the lines could be buried, and all I'm looking is for a trench going across the road to reach a drain field, 1.25 pipe, sleeved.
okay.
And on that upper road in Santeetlah, there is no buried utilities.
Oh, there are none up there.
On
None.
Anahela Trail,
Right.
there's no,
So
Right.
you're
There's
talking
no
about
water
what
up
you
there?
want to do, not that this is going to interfere with what you.
Well,
want to
I'm
do.
just,
This, yeah, you're worried about what this gentleman's doing just to your property.
Right.
What you're talking about is something you were asking for permission to do.
right. The state gave me 2 options,
All right, yeah,
and I'm trying to work
okay.
with everybody.
So obviously this is going to be tabled.
yeah, we'll have to table this for now till, Jacob comes out to look at this again.
We
and see
can
what
set
we-
up a special meeting, but we got to talk
Yeah.
to Jacob and find out what his schedule is.
Well, obviously, when this comes back to us, we,
And I'd like for Jacob to be here at that.
okay,
Yeah.
to answer things.
One other thing, multiple people in that area also questioned and had questions and wanted to participate, and we've all been kind of left out of the loop.
Well, they could have been here today, but
It's on the
Actually,
agenda.
one of them was on Zoom last time, and she had her hand raised, and she never got to
Who,
speak.
who was that?
That was the people who live where you're gonna move the water lines across the road above the drain field. Tina and Tanya.
Was she not the one that asked Jacob maybe about designing a?
No,
system
that's
She was
the,
down on the water.
yeah, that's the Casey's.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see anything else above it than your shed that
No,
you're
no.
talking about.
I'm just talking, I think, over here.
This house right here.
Yeah.
This is where you're talking about moving the water lines. They had questions and didn't get to speak.
This house way over here.
The first one. There's 2 there. The first one down there.
Well,
That-
this
That photo is.
is the Rainey's, and then Jose was down here.
Right,
So
the
then
first,
there's another house.
the first house going in,
1, 2, yeah.
which is right across from where the drain field will be going in.
Anyway, we could table it and come back. I don't want to waste some time on
Okay.
this. so.
To be continued. All right, we already covered front entrance bricks. Donations for Friends of the Library and Santeetlah Volunteer Fire Department. We have, Town of Lake Santeetlah has presented a check to Friends of the Library for $3,000, and they are very grateful for that. And then we have a check for $6,000 to go to the Volunteer Fire Department. And from the July 4th donations from the fireworks, we have $1,075 in donations to the Volunteer Fire Department. As of last night's TPOA meeting, they reported for the Green Elephant that $200 has gone to the Friends of the Library and $100 to Volunteer Fire Department. So that's all our donations at this point, but I'm sure people have continued to make donations to our Volunteer Fire Department. So, update on the Golden Leaf application. At the Golden Leaf board meeting in June, they did not accept our application for grant. The status is under review. They haven't totally axed it. It's still considered active. If other funds become available, I guess they'll look at our grant application again, but they have not actually denied it. Okay, I think that's it for our business Council statements, does anybody have?
I have a couple.
Okay,
Many moons ago, I brought up the issue of having a security camera here. And I was under the impression that we were going to install one. Jack, weren't you working on that?
no,
Jim?
There's two cameras right behind you.
open the box.
Yeah. Just have to, it's not to put them up.
Great, okay, terrific. The other comment, I wanted to compliment Kayla on her work on the directory. Fortunately, she stepped away for a minute.
Yeah,
She's behind you smiling.
Kayla, it's beautiful.
Oh,
It's
you're
awesome.
there, okay.
Yeah,
You did a wonderful job. I worked with her some on that project, because for years, there was nothing but errors and inconsistencies, and people who no longer own property here. We had 2 areas where people's names were listed. In many cases, they were spelled differently in each case. Kayla did a great job. So, thanks, Kayla.
thanks, Kayla.
And if you just mentioned the TPOA pickup time.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I've got a little thing, I gotta stand up for this one. Some of you were at the TPOA meeting
19.
last night, but the town has been awarded this wonderful plaque that goes online, saying the adopted highway NC Department of Transportation, that stands for North Carolina, Thunderbird Property Owners Association, in appreciation for your ongoing commitment and dedication to keeping the NC roadsides clean, 1990 through 2020. So we got a 30-year award, and we get to have, where'd my stickers go? They were out here.
They're in the closet.
Okay, well, anyway, we've got stickers that we're gonna place on the entryway 129 and over here on our sign that say 30 years on it. And I've recently been a part of the litter pickup, we call it the trash walk affectionately around here. It happens once a month. And these dedicated folks have been doing this for years and years and years, and keeping our community nice and clean up here along the roadway. And as we all know, once a little pile of trash gets started, then everybody starts thinking they can dump stuff in there. So really important part of keeping Santeetlah pristine, clean, neat, and beautiful for visitors and residents alike. So that's that. And then with your permission, TPOA is having their annual town get-together on Saturday, August 31st, the end of this month, and we want to invite all of our townspeople, members, and folks out there for a great time. The food is already taken care of, and we're going to have a great band. What's the band again? It's,
Highway 129.
Highway 129, disco dancing, for those of you inclined to disco dance, and have a good time. Jack?
You have to be a member to attend.
You must be a member to attend.
You
Right.
may,
Yeah.
you may join at the party though.
Yeah. So some of you may not realize now, we have
5 o'clock.
100 members in our TPOA organization, which is an all-time high. And as we're growing out here in Lake Santeetlah, things are getting together. So it's a great time to meet your fellow neighbors and friends and people that you haven't seen for a long time. And we encourage everybody to come out, right? All right.
5 o'clock.
Second that?
Okay.
Yeah, I second.
Um,
But Caleb will become a full-time employee here on the 19th of this month.
Kudos.
So my kids.
Okay, I think that's it for all of our council
Diana?
statements. Yes?
Yeah, we invite the staff as a courtesy as well. We would like them to attend.
To the party.
All right.
Yes, but
Staff and family.
What is the
31st.
Saturday.
August 31st, I believe 5 PM, was that right?
5
Randy?
p.m.
5 PM.
5.
5, we're starting up hamburgers, dancing, bands, lots of folks. Bring your chairs and other things, and I think drinks are supplied as well, right? Unless you have something special.
right, and actually it's hot dogs,
Yeah, okay, all right, it's always
not
good.
hamburgers.
And don't forget the disco dancing.
Okay. So that finishes pretty much most of our business for today.
Yep.
We are going to go into closed session to meet with our attorney and Keith.
We have to make a motion.
I believe that's a motion.
That's you, Keith.
He's
Pursuant to the provision of North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11, paren A, paren 3, and 143-318.11, paren C, I move that the town of Lake Santeetlah go into closed session to receive advice from Craig Justice, attorney for the town of Lake Santeetlah Town Council, which advice comes within the purview of the attorney-client privilege. The advice will be in general legal advice about legal issues or legal matters. Second, anyone?
Do we have a second?
I will.
Wait, second it.
Okay.
You second.
Well, sure.
Now you can't.
I'll second this.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have to motion to come back in?
No, we weren't.
Okay, we did that. There was no action from our closed session. Announcements, our next regular scheduled council meeting will be held September 10th, 2024 at 12 p.m. Meeting will be held here at Town Hall and via Zoom. The Zoom link will be sent in the mass email. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.